Hello. This is Michelle Hauk, and this week I'm going to talk about analysis. To start off with, I sort of chose some quotes from a variety of the readings to talk about analysis. What I noticed straight off the bat was that analysis appears in almost all of um, the models or the frameworks that I looked at. So this one is from the Steels and Glasgow instructional design. And it says their first phase problem analysis includes all of the decisions associated with conducting needs analysis and formulating a management plan. These include needs assessments, performance analysis, and context analysis. And that was a theme I saw throughout. So analysis to me really feels like it has a couple key concepts, and those include things like goals, constraints, getting to know the people and the product that is what the desired outcome should be. So getting to know who you're working with, what they need, and why they need it. From the Dick, Carey, and Carey model, they talked about analysis being done in parallel. So conducting instructional analysis and analyze learners in context. The former is vintage hierarchical analysis as conceived by Gagne, with added procedures for constructing cluster analysis diagrams for verbal information. The latter steps specifies collecting information about prospective learners' knowledge, skills, attitudes, environments in which they are situated. So once again, this definition is surrounding the same ideas, which is you have to analyze the instruction and the learners. So the context of who you're making it for and what you're making has a lot to do with how you're going to design the product. If you are creating something for a corporation, that learner is different than if you're creating something for an elementary school. So knowing who you're looking for and analyzing that data ahead of time creates that step one. The last one, I think, was from Cruz, and it's during analysis, the designer develops a clear understanding of the gaps between the desired outcome or behaviors in the audience existing knowledge and skills. I like this definition because it really talks about finding those gaps. I think that's an important aspect to creating a lesson, a unit, something you're going to teach is figuring out what the students know and what they don't know is just equally as important. This analysis is kind of like information mining, information gathering, right? You're trying to get all the things you can possibly know ahead of time so that you can figure out what gaps need to be filled through instruction. If they have large gaps in certain areas, then that's an area of focus to get the end result that you're looking for. Oh, I had one more from Shibley, which was the analysis stage of the design focused on assessing learner characteristics as well as identifying learner objectives for the course. So similar. As I said, they all had a lot in common with analysis, which is you're looking for assessing the learners, the characteristics, the objectives of the course. You're looking to find what they need, what the goals are, and how, and that way you can, when you start to design the course, figure out how you're going to get there. So I defined analysis as a process of looking at student performance and creating learning objectives that work to close the gaps to meet those goals. This includes looking at classroom context as well as student context. So the questions I had that would be a part of my analysis would be, who are you teaching? What do they know? What do they not know? What will they need to be successful? So as I said, with all the previous definitions, looking at not only who you're teaching, but where, what they know, you need not only the context of the learning objectives and the kind of skills and just information they need to know, but also the context of the learners themselves. All right. teaching someone who comes from lower income may have different knowledge than those who come from higher income. English learners may have different knowledge than English only. Large schools, small schools, these all have different contexts that affect the way students learn. If you're in a classroom of 25, you can do different things than if you're in a classroom of 40. And that kind of student context or learner context, because the difference between being in a school and being in a corporation also affects your analysis, and how you're going to kind of figure out what that person needs or that group needs. Is it mixed, right? If you're thinking of something that a corporation may have learners from the age of 22 to 70, that means that the gaps are going to be different, right? Technological gaps may be more important to certain groups, whereas context and content may be in a different group. So analyzing who's learning and what they know and what they don't know and what they need to be successful is a big part of analysis. And analysis for me is a really key step for planning. So this concept, I think, appears in so many models because it's key. It creates the foundation for the rest of your design. And without it, you may make untrue assumptions about the learners in question that affects their ability to successfully complete whatever you're asking them to do or learn. Whereas if we take the time to analyze the context of the situation and figure out who these people are and what they know or don't know, we are allowing them the ability to be more successful. I like in most of the models that the analysis phase and the evaluation phase kind of circle, so you're not just kind of collecting this information and then figuring out what you're going to do with it later, but you're using that information to really help inform the following decisions. So this is my take on analysis. Thank you.